Hello, everyone, and well, welcome to a impromptu live solo. I don't know if there's anyone about, but we shall see. What am I doing? Well, I've just been out with the dog, taken the dog to the park, came back. I've been up since super early. I got up early. I took the wife to work. And then I stayed up because Doctor Who began last night. 2 episodes. I didn't really pay too much attention to when it was starting, that sort of thing. But I thought, it's been on. I'll give it a go. I'll see what the new season's about. And right now, I thought, I've got a couple of hours spare, or an hour spare. I thought I'd go live. And I haven't done a live. I haven't hosted a live. I haven't done live since. I've been on a couple, but I haven't done one myself since January. Start of January. What's that? 4 months? January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, 4 months. A long old time. So I thought, well, let's get back into it. Let's see what's going on and let's get talking. At the moment, I'm currently sat here reading a comic book called Get Fury, as you can see, about Nick Fury. Set during the Vietnam era, and it does have Frank Castle in it, aka the Punisher. It's from the Max line of comics, which is more adult orientated, and it isn't often that Marvel's done a Max comic for a while. But written by Garth Ennis, who wrote the Punisher for a very long time, and you might know him as the writer of, well, he created The Boys, the TV show The Boys. He was the creator of that. And this specific cover here is in homage to Amazing Spider-Man issue 129, which is the first appearance of the Punisher in comic books, and on that cover it was the Punisher there. That's Frank Castle here on the cover, obviously in his outfit, and through the scope was Spider-Man. So that's a cover done in homage to that. But yes, I was sort of reading that. But yeah, so what's been going on for me? As you know, I took a break, much needed break. I don't know whether I missed doing YouTube. I missed doing it. I don't know whether I've come back too early or not. That's still yet to be seen. That answer's yet to come. I don't know. But what's been happening in film for me? Well, I've got plans to go and see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in the next day or two. Monday's the plan for that one. Hopefully it will come to pass. I don't know. I'm not going tomorrow. I'm going to the beach tomorrow. I'm taking the dog out for a day and see how he gets on the beach. See how he gets on with the sea. I'll take him in the sea. I'll go in with him and see how he likes that. But yeah, obviously, if anyone's got any questions for me, do feel free to put them up. I'm assuming most people are probably out. It's quite a nice day out there, isn't it? And the weather's quite nice. So why would people be in on this? I don't know. I mean, it's like 4.5 minutes in, I've seen a couple of people pop in and out. Historically, I usually get better than that, but I'm guessing people are busy, and rightly so. You don't want to be spending your time on here listening to me jabber on. But there we go. What did I watch? I watched Abigail the other day. That's the vampire film. I just spoiled it. No, the trailer spoiled it. I enjoyed it. I thought Abigail was quite a good film, maybe a little bit too long, but for the most part, it was a lot of fun. But obviously spoilt by the trailers, which is a damn shame. It should have gone into it much like you do from Dusk Till Dawn back in the day, where you think you're watching a different film and then it turns itself on its head halfway through and becomes something else. But you know, it's a shame that they felt the need to spoil it in the trailers. I guess they didn't have faith that the audience would come, but I think that word of mouth would have worked for the film. Hi, Michael. How are you doing, mate? Are you all right? Let's paste that there. If I don't know what happened there. I lost myself. If you want to join, Michael, feel free. If you're busy, don't worry. I don't know why I'm jumping in and out like that. That's a bit odd. I'm close enough to the internet for that to not happen. But there we go. So what was I saying? Abigail, yeah. So, like I said, a shame they spoiled it in the trailers. Word of mouth would have worked well. Hi, Noah. How are you doing? Hope you're well. What's been going on with you? Let me know down below. Oh, I just thought I'd pop on and see if anyone was about and have a chat, but it seems very quiet. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not bad. I've been up since early. But yeah, it's all been good. Seen anything new lately? Michael's watched episode 2 of Doctor Who. Couldn't wait till tonight, like he said. What's this? Stay inside warning as heat wave will dramatically end. Thank God for that. I don't like heat waves. What's Noah watching? Oh, Noah's watching X-Men Origins. Wolverine. Yeah, that's our first time watching it. I won't spoil it then. I won't spoil it. Thingy was good in it. Liv Schreiber. Don't worry, we all do dodgy. You know, if you can watch it like that, then watch it like it. Don't worry about it. You know, I obviously I watch stuff like that as well. We all do. Anyone who says they don't is lying. Or people download music. It's the same sort of thing, isn't it? It's all the same. But you know, I could download. There's comic books. The places you can download comic books. You can get download. I think they're called CBR files, and you need the app called CBR Reader, comic book reader. I've got it on one of my tablets, but I don't like reading like that. I like to have a paper comic in hand and read like that. But you know, I have taken a tablet away with comics on and read them digitally, so to speak, from a dodgy download. But there we go. We'll do it, but it's not often that I go looking for them. But no, so how are you liking X-Men Origins so far? Is it good? Yeah, that's one that I reviewed a while ago. Did I? No, I don't really want to say. I'll let you finish it. I'll spoil it for you. But like I said, Liv Schreiber was good. I wouldn't mind seeing a return of him as Sabretooth. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. But there we go. Deadpool is a variant. No, he was. I suppose you could look at it like that now, but I would say Deadpool was more an ill-conceived idea in that film. Obviously, when they made that, which was a long time ago, variants weren't a thing or even thought about. But no, I suppose in the bigger picture, you could, retroactively say, yeah, he's a variant. So I'm just looking at my phone at the moment. Forgive me. I'm currently watching all the X-Men movies in chronological order to get ready and prepare for Deadpool and Wolverine. Cool. That does look good. I would admit that looks. It looks fun. I like how they've taken from the. For me, it feels like they've taken from the Old Man Logan comic book, which I know that when they made the film Logan, elements of that were sort of Old Man Logan, but it looks like they've gone all out in this one with Old Man Logan, which is good. But there we go. Just looking for my dog to see where she's at. But yeah, I don't know. It's if anyone's got any questions, put them up, because that sort of gets the chat going a bit, doesn't it? Because at the moment, I kind of feel that, well, as a solo, probably my worst solo ever. I still have to wait a few hours for Doctor Who. Yeah, but if you've found Deadpool via other means, surely you can find Doctor Who via other means. But yeah, wait until tonight. You're not missing much. Don't worry about that. Michael might say otherwise. I've not yet watched Michael's review of Doctor Who. I will do, because I want to see what his thoughts on it were. There he is. We could talk Doctor Who now. How do I add to stage?
Hello.
And there's Michael.
Yes, I have finally gotten off of the throne to come and join.
Oh, let me turn that volume down. That's like very loud. How are you, Michael? It's been quite a while.
It has, yeah. I'm doing fine. Yeah. Obviously, I literally just not long finished watching The Devil's Cord and finished filming my review, which is processing at the moment. So I'll go do the description and the tags later on the laptop.
I will say, I far preferred. What's his name? Cootie what? Cootie what?
Shooty.
Cootie.
Shooty.
Shooty. I think I was calling him Cootie on mine. Oh yeah, Shooty. That's right. That's how you pronounce it. Nakuti. I've called him Nakuti before. Cootie. Anyway, I far preferred his look in that 60s attire and the afro.
That's going to be one of my main gripes moving forward, is the changing costume, because it'll start to look like I'm just watching any old sci-fi show.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So how have you been?
I mean, have I been?
Yeah.
As can be. I'm all right. Obviously, I had my break. Saying I don't know whether I came back onto here too early or whether I should stay away longer. That will remain to be seen. But I did miss doing it. So that's why I sort of, came back. It's, that's what Noah says. He used to call him Nakuti. That's what I used to call him, Nakuti. Now I'm calling him Cootie. I knew that it wasn't, I knew you don't pronounce the N.
Yeah.
It's a shooty. I don't know. I reckon he's made that one up. I reckon he's been given an awful name and he's tried to turn it into something else, to be honest. But yeah, so what? So I saw. I tried to be positive with my reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to steer clear of my normal bashing, my normal.
To be honest, I was actually surprised you actually watched it, considering you said you were done after the 60th.
Well, it gets decent view numbers.
Yeah, I mean, like, I posted my episode 1 review at like 1:30 in the morning, and it's nearly at 100 views now.
Do you share it to groups?
This time I haven't. No, I just literally uploaded it and went right to bed because I was too tired.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't stay up and watch the second one.
Well, you see, my plan was initially just because, you see, I actually emailed RTE, which is our local channel, like the BBC, and they have their own version of the iPlayer called the RTE player, which did get the last year's specials just out of the blue. So there was no word on whether or not we're going to get the new season. So I actually emailed them to ask them. And initially, I was told, no, unfortunately, we won't be getting them, but we may do in the future. So watch this space. And then 2 days later, I got an email saying that yes, that the RTE player will be getting it, not until summer, however, due to how things are licensed. So they'll be dropping the whole season in the summer, just not getting it as it is. So I was worried that I was going to have to watch both episode 1 and episode 2 together on air night, and then just hope that I don't forget important things when recording my reviews. And I was like, well, let me just find a VPN that works, so I can watch it on the BBC iPlayer, record my review, wait until tonight to watch episode 2, and then record and upload my review then. But then I woke up and I was like, let me see if it's on that thing that I have, because it didn't get the 60th or the Church on Ruby Road, and lo and behold, it was there. So I was like, okay, I'll go make breakfast and I'll sit down and watch it.
Your review's just gone live for the second one.
Yeah, because I was waiting. As I was uploading it, I was just waiting for it to go to processing before I jumped on.
Yeah, let me just quickly just get. So Noah said you didn't need to watch it; just pretend you watch it and review it. I suppose you could do that.
I did that once. I actually did that once with my Torchwood Miracle Day review. Since I had watched it the year prior, I just wasn't in the humor to sit down and rewatch it for my review. So I just tried to remember as much as I could off of the top of my head.
Yeah. I just say I didn't realise that Noah had his image was now the Blood and Honey thing next to Barbie.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Yeah.
Is Blood and Honey 2 out yet, Noah? Very new to collecting steelbooks. Don't know if that's good or not. It's bad for your pocket. It's expensive. Yeah. DVD is £40. I just checked. What's that for Doctor Who?
I know that CEX over here for the 60th anniversary steelbook won like €60 for it.
But you got the pre-order for the new season already?
No, I haven't actually, because I don't have Amazon at the moment. I probably will.
But what I mean is that it's available to pre-order.
It's available to pre-order. Well, yeah, yeah. Well, I kind of figured that would happen. I'm not going to pre-order after the last time I tried to pre-order something. I'm just going to wait for it to on release date and then order it.
Yeah, fair enough. What's saying? 10 episodes, like £5 per episode. Weekend, don't want to do math, but yeah. Yes, in the UK it's out June. In the US and other countries it's out now. What are we talking about? Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so it'd be available to watch on your dodgy sites then? Blood and Honey too. But yeah. So you enjoyed Doctor Who. You enjoyed the first episode, then?
Yeah, I did.
The
Though I
baby
was
one.
half asleep, so that could be a factor into it.
See, for me, I thought it started okay. Started well. Then when the babies turned up talking, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't need that. Talking babies. And at least they answered some of the questions that I had at that juncture. Like, how do they, change their nappies and all this? And it was it was answered to a degree. Yeah. But then it kind of turned into I was watching it and I had Red Dwarf keep popping in mind. Like the Vindaloo monster.
Yeah.
You had the monster in that. I won't say for anyone, but no one watching anyway. This is my least watched live. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't. Have you ever watched Red Dwarf?
I'm familiar with it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, there's an episode where there's this sort of DNA type machine, and it creates a monster that starts hunting them down, and it's made out of a Vindaloo. And it's this big thing with teeth, snarling thing with teeth. So it kind of reminded me of that. And the end of it, where they used the waste to propel the ship. It's just, I was just thinking, this is the sort of thing that I would see played for laughs in Red Dwarf. That's. I didn't say that in my review, but there's a very Red Dwarf kind of thing about it there.
Yeah. I noticed a somewhat reference to Star Trek. Now, I might be stretching on this one, but it definitely, the uniforms that they were wearing when we see the adults given the year and them going off looked very Star Trek to me.
Mm. Yeah, I did. I wasn't paying too much attention at that point, I'll be honest. I do remember the scene you're talking about. But...
as well, it took me a good half hour to be able to actually watch it on BBC iPlayer because it just kept buffering. And initially, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to bed." And by the time I tweeted it and then put it as a community tab, I went upstairs like, "All right, let me try again," and it actually worked.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So is that every week? Then it's on at midnight.
Yes, every midnight for the BBC iPlayer, different times for Disney Plus, and then it'll also still have its airtime on BBC One.
So you're going to be up at midnight every week?
No, this is a one-time thing because it's a double bill episode. I like my sleep very much. As much as I love Doctor Who, it comes first. I'll always choose sleep over Doctor Who.
Now, I will say with the second episode, I liked the idea of the villain.
Yeah, I definitely did like Maestro.
Not necessarily the performance and the person they had doing it.
Yeah, Jinx's performance could have been a tad bit better, but I'm not sure. I think this might be her first acting role.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked her IMDb, so I don't know. But it definitely felt first time acting type of thing.
Yeah, it felt very pantomime.
Yeah.
Over the top. I think, if that villain, if they'd gone with a darker tone for that villain, a bit more evil, shall we say, it's one of those villains that I could see if they came back ever with a recast. And they went a bit darker. Yeah, I think in the second one there was there were elements of this ain't too bad. There's elements I didn't like, but I tried to focus more on the positives than the negatives this time around. I didn't like the end, obviously. I mean, that was just
the dance number was corny.
Yeah, because you had that in one of the others. You had the singing bit in the Christmas one, and now
Yeah.
2 episodes later, you've got a dance number at the end. It
Yeah.
just feels so forced. What are they doing? But I'll be fair to Shooty. I got his name right. I think that I thought I was going to hate him, but I feel that he's filling the role. He's getting more comfortable as it progresses.
Yeah.
But I'm worried. I'm worried for all of the sort of the messaging. That's what worries me. And at the moment, it's been there in sprinkles, but very apart from the casting in the second episode, obviously. But let's factor that out. It's been there in sprinkles. It hasn't been full on in your face. Yeah. That's what worries me the most.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I definitely think he done fantastic in episode 2, especially portraying the fear once he realized that it was a legion of the Toymaker. I think he done fantastic in that.
Sorry, hold on one sec. So yeah, Noah's going to post his reviews tomorrow after he's watched it, double bill, and he's saying that Shooty was in Barbie. Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Sorry, what did you say then, Michael? I'm lost.
Yeah, I was saying that I liked the way Shooty portrayed the fear of once he heard the giggle coming from Maestro, that when he realized that this is a legion of the Toymaker, the fear of having to fight that again. I thought he portrayed that excellently.
See, that leads me to another bit, because there was this stuff about I don't run away from anything, blah blah blah, that they said in the first episode about that monster, and then he's running away in the second episode. There's been loads of episodes where Doctor has been running away from things in the past.
Yeah, that's been one of them.
So I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I was quite surprised that when they went to 1960s and they stuck the thingy on the roof, the piano.
Yeah.
That he mentioned
Susan.
About his first.
That I forgot to mention in my review.
Yeah, about his first incarnation and the granddaughter thing and all that sort of stuff. I'm surprised that they went that.
I'm happy that they did.
Sorry?
I'm happy that they mentioned Susan and that, but I also don't like the fact that they kind of closed the door on a Susan return, because the way you mentioned that the Time Lords were wiped out, so she could have been one of those Time Lords that got wiped out.
Yeah. See, I thought that this, do you see this as a season 1 or do you see it as a season 14? It's 14, isn't it?
It is series 14, yeah. I don't know. Episode 1 definitely felt like season 5 opener in a sense, where it's a decent enough jumping on point for new fans that haven't gone back to watch the older stuff, and it does tell you what you need to know. But there's also hints of the history that is there. Granted, the exact same thing happened in series 1 nearly 20 years ago. But I think I need to watch more episodes of this season to see if it feels like a continuation of, or if it's just its own new thing.
Well, I mean, that's why I was surprised that they mentioned the history so early on, because of that sort of season 1 element, so to speak. I mean, I understand why they're calling it season 1. They're going bigger and broader with it, with Disney Plus hitting more households, so to speak, different countries. So it's easier to grab a new audience, shall we say, if you're calling it season 1 rather than a season 14.
Yeah, the marketing that they've done is leaps and bounds compared to during the Jodie Whittaker era, where there's practically nothing for her era. I mean, I've seen clips of the TARDIS being in Disneyland. I've seen whole subways in New York being kitted out to advertise Doctor Who. So they have gone ham on this, which I'm happy for, and I'll be happy when it brings in new viewers. Funny enough, if you want to get pedantic, this is technically the 40th season of Doctor Who, if
Yes.
you're counting classic, the revival, and this.
So Noah's saying this is the third reboot of Doctor Who.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're counting the film there, the Paul McGann film as one.
Yeah.
We then count in Thingy as two, Eccleston, and now counting this as three. But would you say it's a reboot, or would you just say, see, this is it a reboot, or is it just a continuation?
I think it is just like a continuation, but it's framed as a reboot.
Yeah, in name, like I said, in season one again. I wouldn't say it's a reboot because no time has passed since the previous to this, and it is really a continuation because it still harks back to the old, which they've proved already. So they've done it in name. It's like they do it in. It's a tactic that's used in very much in comic books.
Yeah.
Right. In that they'll do a run of comic book of a character, they'll end it, and then they'll come back with an issue one again. And it's not a reboot, it's a continuation because in the comic world, as soon as there's an issue one, more people will jump on board.
Yeah.
To read it again, then numbers dwindle, then they'll cancel, issue one again, more people on board till it dwindles. And it feels like it's that kind of a thought process that, let's call it season one because it's being, like I said, it's being opened up to more countries, more viewership.
Yeah.
If you're saying it's a season 14 or 40, whatever, people are going to be, it's bogged down by that history.
Yeah.
People aren't going to watch. They're not going to jump on and say, I'm not going to bother watching 14 years previous or 13 years previous to this, so I'm not going to watch this. Whereas say it's season one, reboot, people jump on.
Yeah, it's a soft reboot, I would say.
So what's happening with this Millie Gibson girl then, woman? Is she continuing or is she out after this first
season? She is continuing. Yeah, they when they announced the new companion, they finally said that yes, it is going to be a two TARDIS team again, with the actress Vera joining on, I think middle of season 2. And I think they're due to actually finish filming for that next month. And then there's going to be a bit of a break to allow Shooty to go off and do other things for a little bit, for maybe a year or two, and then they'll come back and do another 2 seasons, film them back to back. And then whether or not that's time for Shooty to leave and get in a new doctor or Shooty stays on, we'll just have to wait and see.
So how much have they filmed now? Sorry. Oh, sorry.
They are nearly finished filming. The last I've seen of them filming was for the season finale.
Okay.
So I think there's just another month left of filming to go.
Sorry, I've just sorted myself out. Things fell.
That's grand. I mean, with this new setup, I have a janky way to hold my ring light. I brought the buffet up from downstairs, and it's also on 3 big Star Trek books just to hold it up.
I do similar, but at the moment I can't record upstairs because the Wi-Fi doesn't reach up there.
Yeah.
My father's downstairs in the lounge, so I'm actually halfway up the stairs on like a middle landing, where I just about reach the Wi-Fi, and I'm out of the way of sending him to his bedroom.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you.
Go on then.
Do you think you will watch the final season of Discovery?
Oh, it's a good question. It's a good question. Now, the problem I've been having, obviously, this year I've been as you know, I took a break from YouTube because I wasn't there mentally with it. There's a lot of stuff I haven't watched. There's a lot of stuff I haven't watched this year that's come about. As you probably know, I was reviewing Resident Alien.
Yes.
On a weekly basis. I didn't continue. I stopped watching that. I've not been watching the rest of the season. Sorry?
Speaking of Resident Alien, there is a sound clip from one of the episodes that went mega viral on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah. It was, how did you get past his defenses? It's impenetrable. Door was unlocked. Son of a bitch!
All right, yeah. So I haven't watched Chucky. Didn't finish that. There's many a film that I haven't watched, and the reason being is because I've not been
which is understandable. And I mean, I get that way sometimes when I know that I have a video that I'm supposed to be working on, and I'm just burnt out and not in that right headspace. So I just will stick to just watching random YouTube videos, here and there.
See, for me, it's been easier to watch. I have been watching stuff, but I've been watching stuff that I know that I've watched before. I just find it easier to process that, and it's only really felt like over the past week or two that I've started to rewatch things. But that first episode of Discovery, I fell asleep during it. I don't know if I was just tired or whether it bored me. I think it was a bit of both. I don't know. The answers I don't know. I want to say I probably won't.
Yeah, because like I've been saying rather recently in my reviews, as a Discovery apologist, I'm starting to struggle with it because, again, we have these characters Maul and Locke. Locke being a Breen, that are supposed to be essentially the big bad of the season. You know, where the Discovery is in competition with them to find this progenitor tech.
So they're the two characters. They were introduced in that first episode, weren't they?
Yeah. Yes. You take them out of the equation, everything still happens. It's like with the first Indiana Jones film. You take Indy out, the exact same thing the exact same as beat for beat happens. The same with Discovery. You take those out, they discover the progenitor tech, they go searching for the clues, and without them, they'd probably find it a whole lot quicker than they have been doing. Last week's episode was very interesting, to say the least. That had you taken those two out of the equation, wouldn't have happened. But again, if you took those out, we wouldn't have gotten a bit more on the Breen to actually see what a Breen looks like underneath the helmet for starters. But yeah, I'm trying so hard not to judge the fact that it's the final season and it's 3 episodes to go, because they weren't told that it was the final season while filming. And so I'm trying to, cut them a bit of slack for that. I don't think I'm going to get a satisfying conclusion with it because of the fact that this wasn't supposed to be the final season.
Yeah, makes sense. But just in case anyone was wondering what Michael means about Raiders of the Lost Ark, basically, character of Indiana Jones. If he wasn't there throughout the whole story, the Nazis would eventually find the Ark of the Covenant. They would take it to the island. They would open it, and then they'd all get zapped anyway. So the outcome would have been the same. Because Indy's the only one who really knew who realised not to look into the Ark. That's what Michael means by that. So let me come back to these episode titles in a minute, Michael. Just want to catch up on Noah's messages. He's watching a new Ryan Reynolds film today at cinema, a film called If. Was it announced 4 years ago? Wow, okay. I've not even watched the trailer. I'll be honest, I've not seen it. Oh, I'll watch it.
I've seen the trailer. And you want to know what it basically is? It's a live-action version of a cartoon that I grew up on called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. it is near identical to the premise, where they're trying to find homes for these abandoned imaginary friends. That's what Foster's was,
Oh,
and Foster's was there designed for these little kids to go and adopt these forgotten and abandoned imaginary friends. It
all
is
right.
literally Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but with a bigger budget.
Okay, cool. And he says, "Are you excited for Furiosa or Mad Max? Have you ever watched any of the Mad Max films, Michael?" All right, fair enough. Cool. Am I excited for Mad Max Furiosa? No. It looks over the top CGI. Chris Hemsworth doesn't look right in it. It's for me. It feels like a cynical way to reboot Mad Max with a woman. That's what I feel. That's what I feel they've done. They want to do Mad Max again, but with a woman. So they do it with Furiosa and dress it up as a prequel film. I'm not excited for a Mad Max film that doesn't have Mad Max in it. But there we go. There we go. I'll say I might watch the final episode of Discovery just to see if there's any, or the final few minutes just to see if there's like a farewell kind of thing. But
Well, they did film one. They literally, after they fit, because I remember, well, they just finished filming, and then it was announced that they weren't going to get that they were cancelled, and so that
really,
they scrambled to actually go back and film for a satisfying conclusion.
wow. Okay, I didn't know that. That's so that's like a proper cancellation then.
Yeah, like with Lower Decks.
Yeah, rather than a natural. Lower Decks, is it being a cartoon, you can get away with it more so.
Yeah,
But I think, yeah, Discovery, not knowing that they were ending, had they known they were ending,
it
obviously,
was 100% different than what we've
yeah,
gotten.
yeah. Wow. Okay, that's not good. But yeah, anyway, so these titles here, Michael,
Yeah,
you're up on. So Boom. Obviously, we had the
it's
trailer for
written
Boom.
by Stephen Moffat.
Okay, who wrote The Devil's Called? Because I didn't pay attention.
So 6 out of those episodes are written by Russell T Davies. The Devil's Court was one that was written by Russell. Boom is done by Stephen Moffat, as I said. 73 Yards is one that Russell has said is his best script he's ever written. That's yet to be seen. I'll wait until that to see how that goes. Dot and Bubble, if memory serves correct, it's written and directed by two people that worked on Loki season 2.
Okay.
And then Rogue, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, and Empire of Death are all written by Russell.
Bless me. So, how long is this season of Doctor Who?
8 episodes.
Was that it?
Yes.
Oh, pretty short then. So that's the whole season there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, that's short, and yet they're selling the Steelbook season for about 60 quid.
For the yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
And have you got breakdowns for these episodes, or is that all hush hush?
I think when they announced the titles, yes, there was. No, actually, no, there wasn't. Yeah, it's all up in the air for that. We do know from the trailer from Boom that the Doctor stands on a landmine. I think that one was done in a way to be Doctor-like because Shooty was off filming for something else. 73 Yards, we don't know much. The same with Dot and Bubble and Rogue. However, for The Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death, that is a 2-parter. That's going to see Unit again. We're going to see Rose Noble show up, Donna's daughter, as well as Mel, the classic companion Mel, is going to show up in that episode.
Well, so my Noah says they say it's the best script ever for more viewings, probably. He's not wrong. He's not wrong there.
Yeah.
Let me just quickly run through. Every Spider-Man film will release in cinemas every week, August to September.
Yep. My cinema announced the same. If they do what they did for the Phantom Menace, where I get a free poster with each, I might just go rewatch the Sam Raimi trilogy because I haven't seen them in 20 years. For the free poster, and then I just won't bother with the others.
All right, that's cool. I remember when Spider-Man first came out, and I did have the poster where it's his eye.
Yes.
And you can see the Twin Towers.
Oh, the really rare one.
I used to have it on my wall. I remember that. And obviously there's the trailer. There's the trailer for the film. One of them, and the scene wasn't in the film, is when a helicopter bank robbery, and the helicopter is caught in a spider's web between the two towers, like a fly in the spider's web. That was like 2000, I think, and then obviously 2001 was when. Is that right? Twin Towers came down. Yeah. Looks like a bit like a live action Pixar film. That's that If. They're saying they're doing a prequel story for Max, but that will just be a cop film. So Mad Max doesn't need a prequel film. You've got Mad Max 1, the first one, and that's not unless you're discounting that. There's a bit of a jump between Mad Max 1 and Mad Max 2 in the world that he inhabits and lives in.
Yeah.
Like it was completely changed. Really, with the Mad Max films, you can watch each film as though they're not affected by the one before.
Yeah, like so people don't feel standalone.
Yeah, they feel, there's stuff in them that, so it's best to watch them without a continuity in mind.
Yeah.
Chris says the Runways DVD. Chris Queeley. The Runways or the Runaways? I don't know. Yeah, £60 must be for the best script he ever wrote. It must be a masterpiece. Empire of Death sounds a bit like Star Wars.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh yeah, Andy. Have you seen Late Night with the Devil? Average. Also need to finish Echo, one of the best Marvel. I never started Echo. That's another one I missed out on because I weren't in the right.
I just didn't bother. I'm definitely burnt out on Marvel. I'm happy that they announced that they're definitely reducing their output to 2-3 movies a year and 2 TV shows. That's what they should have been doing in the first place.
It was excessive what they done.
Yeah, to the point now where I still haven't seen everything in the MCU, nor will I at this point. I'll just pick and choose which interests me. Like I'm definitely going to see Deadpool and Wolverine, and I will of course see Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Not Falcon. Captain
America.
Yeah, the new Captain America next year, because they've already started to we've seen the suit. We do know that it is Red Hulk because some promotion stuff is already out there, and it does show the Red Hulk. So that's definitely Harrison Ford's character.
Yeah, it was in the comics. There was when Red Hulk first came about. There was this whole who is it kind of mystery, and eventually it was revealed that it was Ross that done. Yeah, I do have them comics somewhere in a box, buried away. But yeah, Late Night with the Devil. That's the one. Is that set in the 60s or something like that? 50s or 60s? I think. I've not seen it.
I haven't seen it myself, but I have an image of it inside my head, and yeah, it's definitely 60s attire. It did catch a bit of flack though for using AI, either in promotions or in the actual film. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've not. But I've heard some people have said good things about it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Saw them season 2 good, but not as good as season 1. What show? Sorry, what show are we talking about there? I'm lost. Sorry, I don't know what show. You have to confirm that one for me, Andy. I don't know. what show. But yeah, so where were we? Sorry.
Doctor Who, probably.
Well, with you, yeah.
Yeah.
All Doctor Who.
Yeah. Like, every time I do my own standalone live streams, I do up a streaming topics list, so that way I'm just not sitting there waiting for questions. Usually, the first thing I will get out of the way is Doctor Who, and then Star Trek.
So that's 2 hours of Doctor Who, and then Star Trek takes up a big bit as well. So yeah, so start and then nothing else.
Then other, like, I'll talk about up and coming projects for the channel.
All right, fair enough. So what have you got up and coming?
Well, I'm still doing Trilogy Month. You know, I just finished week 1, which it didn't go as well as I thought it would. But I'm glad that I got that one out of the way.
What do you mean it didn't go as well as you thought it would?
View-wise, the first one for the Dragon Ball Z Broly film done well. The other two didn't. They were actually one of my worst performing videos.
Okay.
But next week is going to be the Nolan Batman films that I watched for the very first time.
Okay, yeah. So I think probably then let's just. I think I mean I wouldn't read nothing into the fact that they were your worst performing. That's probably just down to the fact that the audience.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be the case, that like my audience wouldn't be, if they're not Dragon Ball fans, they're not going to be interested in it.
Yeah, no,
yeah, which is perfectly fine. Like, that's when I was doing my Gears of War 3-hour video. I had that in my mind, that let me just explain it in a way that would be perfect for people who haven't played the game and don't know it. So that's why when I was doing it, I'd only reveal information when it came apparent in the story.
Yeah, see, because for me, obviously, Dragon Ball Z ain't even what was the other one? The game one, Gears of War. I don't play games, so again, it's not something that I would, But then it's the same, with what I do when I was doing my Quantum Leap reviews. Obviously, I'd only expect people who watch Quantum Leap to watch it, and same with Star Trek. I expect it only to be really Star Trek people, not your general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the same sort of. Yeah, I mean, you got to expect that. I mean, Batman's more of a
universal thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Star Wars, because that'll be that I'll be doing the prequel trilogy starting on the 20th. Being, of course, my Phantom Menace Cinevlog that I filmed last Saturday. And then the final trilogy will be the Bionicle trilogy, which I know won't do well because, again, you'd have to have grown up with it in the early 2000s like I did, because it was straight to DVD/VHS. So this is the first of the 2 trilogy months that I'm going to do this year. I'll do another one before the year is out, where I'll actually sit down and watch the sequel Star Wars trilogies. So that's how I have it worked out in my mind. I just need to figure out what other movie trilogies I'm going to cover with that.
That's great. So I missed this message from Andy saying, "Love your channel, mate. Don't change for anyone." Good advice. Noah will be doing Noah on his channel, Film Fanatic, will be making a review soon for X-Men Origins Wolverine, because he's just watching them now. He's watching all of them to get to Deadpool and Wolverine. He's watching all the X-Men saga of movies. And he said he loves the trailer reactions that I've done.
Yeah, even my college friend messaged me about after you put out your Deadpool and Wolverine one, saying that you found it hilarious.
Oh yeah. I was kind of pressured into it. I had little Steve off of Movie Chats saying, "Do a Deadpool, do a trailer reaction," and I don't like. I mean, I'm not a fan of trailer reaction videos because they're so fake. They're so false.
Yeah, because like not long after you watching your trailer reaction for Deadpool and Wolverine, scrolling through TikTok, I found someone doing the exact over-the-top like trailer reaction that you done for yours, but it was more in a serious matter
Yeah.
instead of your piss take.
That's the problem, because the trailer, yeah, I don't mind doing a trailer reaction, and I will do, something I'm going to bring onto the channel. I'm not going to always do mick take ones, because they're all going to be the same. They're all going to be, they're going to feel very samey if I do that all the time. But I don't mind doing a trailer talk. Like, I'll watch a trailer and then I'll talk about the trailer.
Yeah, I think those are the best ways to really do it as well. I do like trailer breakdowns where they actually break down stuff that you mightn't have noticed the first time around, or they might even break down trailers that for like other regions that have extra scenes in it that weren't in the English release for the trailer.
So I'm not as invested in it to actually do that. It will just be a case of I watch the trailer, then I'll share my thoughts on the trailer. That's it. I can't do a breakdown. So that's too much hard work for me.
Yeah.
And also, you got to do it frame by frame and look at every little detail and what's that and what's the meaning of that and why is that, and that just seems like, I mean, you got to go searching on internet for if there's any significance to that and the character that you're watching it for, and that seems like do you know what I mean? That seems a lot.
It seems like the people that do that need to go out and touch grass more.
Indeed. But yeah, I thought, the trailer reactions, I do see them. I do feel that they're over the top, that no one, because first time watching a trailer for me, it's very you just sat there like that. Really, you're just like, you might have a little smile, a little smirk, but you're certainly not like wetting yourself with laughter or excitement. That it's just so like so cringy. And people say it's the first time I've watched the trailer. First time. Well, you're telling me you ain't put that trailer on a dozen times before to get, you know what I mean? Just cringe. But it worked well for the Deadpool one for me, in the sense that because the film itself is tongue in cheek, is it's very easy to, do you know what I mean? To do. But I mean, Noah says here maybe you could do a Joker Foley Adieu trailer. Joker Shared Madness. That's what Foley Adieu means.
Oh, interesting. I never knew.
Yeah, there is a thing, a real psychological thing where if one person is acting a certain way or goes a certain way, it can be shared with another person.
Yeah.
That person will start. I don't really know too much about it, but there is such a phenomena, shall we say, a psychological phenomena where that happens, and that's what that word, folie à deux is obviously the saying that's used, but it's shared madness. Yeah. A film that wasn't needed, Joker 2. Have you seen Joker?
No, actually, I haven't. The main reason why I avoid is because people keep hyping it up. I'm just like, I'm gonna go in with these high expectations, and it's gonna fall flat for me.
Well, I'll say what I always say, that every time I watch it, I hate it more and more as a Joker film, but I love it more and more as a film.
Yeah.
It's a great film. It's got a great story. It's well acted. It's well directed. I just, every time I watch it, I just wish I wasn't watching Joker.
Yeah.
It didn't have that. It was just the story of a man who is affected by mental health. And
and I will agree with you there. Even though I haven't seen it, that's another reason why I won't watch it, because I'm looking at it as like, that's not the Joker. Like I know it's called Joker, but it's not DC's Joker. That's my gripe with it. He may
no, it's
act like
different
it.
iteration. It could be an else. It could be classed as an Elseworlds.
Yeah, but there's only a few Jokers that I actually like from growing up. the same with my Batman. There's only a few that I actually do like from
Who are they then?
when I used to watch it as a kid.
Oh,
Uh,
oh no, you're young. So what?
yeah. Well, you see, I remember as a kid watching some of it's either I watched two Clooney. No, it's either I watched one Clooney and two of the guy before.
All right, Clooney done one.
Yeah, Clooney done
Before him
one.
was Val Kilmer who done one,
Yeah,
and before
so it
him
might
was Keaton that done two.
yeah, so it might be one Valor, one Keaton. I'm not 100% sure. I do remember that I watched Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I think I watched a third one. I'm not 100% certain. But I also grew up on the cartoons. Batman, the animated series, Batman Beyond, and Brave and the Bold,
Mm.
as well as some Justice League cartoon as well.
Yeah.
As well as I grew up on the good Teen Titans, not that terrible Teen Titans Go. Um, and then I did like Christian Bale as Batman in the Nolan trilogy. I thought he'd done a fantastic job.
No, right, cool. What about Affleck?
Haven't seen. I've seen clips of him. He's a good Bruce Wayne. Not a Batman though.
All right, and I take it you never saw the Batman with
No,
Pattinson.
I haven't watched that one yet. Though from what I hear from you, I probably better skip it.
But it's only it's subjective.
Yes, that's a phrase that I've stolen from you in a lot of my reviews, saying art is subjective.
It is, yeah. So for everyone that that film works for a lot of people, doesn't work for me.
Like The Wrath of Khan works for a lot of people, and those people are wrong. It's actually First Contact is the best Star Trek film.
Yeah, right. Let's move on from that one. Got to bring it up, isn't ya?
Oh, Hat, it's been a while.
It has been a while. That ain't been bandied around for like 6 months or more.
Yeah.
But that's been brewing up inside you, isn't it? You're waiting for that.
Well, it gets stale if I keep bringing it up.
Oh no. But you're wrong anyway. So no, it says when he went to see Kingdom Planet of the Apes, which I haven't watched yet, they shared an extended edition of the trailer. This is for Deadpool. They talk a bit more in the bar, a new look at Dogpool and him running in the grass, and an extra extended clip of the Ant-Man skull, showing Ant-Man's skull moving up, like you saw in the trailer, and then pans to Deadpool saying, Paul Rudd's finally aged. That's interesting.
I have seen some of the extended clips already from discussing films on Twitter, as well
Okay.
as the Hollywood Reporter and Dextera. So yeah, it's a fun jab at the fact that Paul Rudd indeed has not aged since the 90s. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially seeing who they bring back, since it's basically Deadpool kills the 20th Century Fox universe.
Yeah, we'll see. Which is a play on, because you have had in the comics, you have had Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
They have had that as a comic where he kills everyone.
yeah.
Noah says he'll send me the full extended trailer. Okay, yeah, that'll be great, Noah. Thanks. Yeah, so I don't know. Where are we at? What you got plans for the rest of the day, Michael? Anything?
I might be meeting up with friends. I'm not 100% sure. If not, then I'm just going to work on the next big video, which I like to say I'm nearly finished. I just have 2 more missions for one section to do for it, and then I have to go jump forward in timelines, go back to my original character, and start working on a few story beats for that. Like I'm already up to like an hour in length for it. And I already have ideas for the next two big videos to happen. Well, one I'm not sure if I'll get an hour out of, and it's actually a perfect thing for us to talk about, and that is, did Voyager ruin the Borg?
Well, we know the answer to that.
The answer is no.
Yes, they did.
They didn't.
Of course they did.
They did. Let me break it down for you, because I was thinking about this the other day, which is why I kind of want to make this as a video.
Go on then.
So,
Break it down.
let's look at the state of the Federation pre-introduction of the Borg. They were full of themselves. They thought that they were the best shit around, that they didn't need to worry about things. Then Q introduced them to the Borg. They realized, oh shit, we actually need to better prepare and progress again, technology-wise. Then the massacre of Wolf 359 happened, and then they started to build new ships that can combat the Borg. One of those ships was the Intrepid class. That's how the Voyager kept beating the Borg, because they were in a ship designed specifically to defeat the Borg.
Yeah, I get that, right? However, you're talking about one ship.
Yes.
With the defense capability of handling whatever the Borg threw at it.
Yeah. See, the Borg, they haven't progressed like the Federation has. They've stayed the same. So the Borg are here now. The Federation's up here in terms of strength. Granted, yes, they're not using the full force of the Armada throwing it at them, but still, one powerful ship as Voyager is, enough to decimate a whole planet, could take on 1-2 cubes, maybe 1 or 2 spheres, and a few probes to back it up.
Okay, but yeah, see, this is the difference between you and me is the angle that you're coming at this from, right? Yeah. Because you come at it from a real world, like as in as though you're in that world, you're living in that world, so to speak, right? I come at it from the perspective of the narrative of the narrative of the show and what the show does from the perspective of the makers. So what you've done is, when I say they've ruined the Borg, or when people say that, it's because you've got to a point where the Borg have become boring. The Borg are no longer a threat in any way, because narratively you've written it such that the Voyager ship, and it just, no matter what they do, they're not in any danger. So you lose. So you've lost a lot in the character of the Borg at that point. And Doctor Who's similar. Doctor Who has very much done the same thing with the Daleks and and the Cybermen. They're as guilty.
Which is why this season they're not going to make any appearance.
Yeah, I heard that, and they've done it with the Weeping Angels as well. The Weeping Angels lost their fear because they do more and more with them, and you take away that threat aspect. I mean, Next Generation itself plays a part with a little bit of guilt with the episode of Iborg in humanizing that one Huey was his name or something. Yeah, with humanizing that one Borg. You've reduced the threat aspect. I get it from this perspective of in-world that you're saying we've now created, because of the Borg, we've created these vessels that can withstand Borg attack or can stand up to a Borg attack. I wouldn't say they should say they can withstand anything, because it comes across with Voyager that doesn't matter what the Borg throw at them, Voyager's okay. Yeah. Now, what would have worked better, right, narratively in my mind, right, would have been, and this is one of the bugbears that I have with Star Trek Voyager, is
Yeah,
that
I know. Yeah, I know where you're going, and I do agree that
what am I
they
saying? What am I going to say then?
that they should have made it so that everything doesn't go back to rosy cheeks at the end by the next episode. That we should have seen the wear and tear on the Voyager, like we did see in that
Yes.
two-parter Year of Hell, which originally was actually going to be a whole season-long arc.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I do agree with you there. That is something they should have done. But I can understand why that wasn't the case. Like, yes, they did have a actual filming model, but the time and money it would have went into having that permanently like damaged and altered, or like having new bits added on, especially with the CG model, would have cost more in the long run than the short run.
No, I get, yeah, totally. And they reuse scenes over and over. Shots of the ship they'll reuse over and over. But that's the premise of the show. What would have worked for it is that, okay, we've got a vessel that was built out of the Battle of War 359. We've built this new class of vessel. It has more of a weapons capability against the Borg. So, not that it stands up to the Borg, but it's more defensive against them and can hold its own to a degree. And then when you get to the ship being flown, yes, you should have had changes to the vessel, right, as you go along, because this vessel's getting battered, beaten to crap, and yet at the end of the 7 seasons, it looks exactly the same as it does at the beginning, pretty much. And I get what you're saying from the cost perspective, and I totally understand that, and budget constraints. But realistically, what they should have done was, when they enter into Borg territory space, and this ship's getting outfitted by other alien races that live in that same sort of territory, these other alien races have adapted to stand up to the Borg themselves, and the vessel gets outfitted with comms
technology,
that assist it in standing up to the Borg. So you can still argue that the Borg is still a major threat to the Federation, but the Voyager has got an advantage because of adapted alien tech integrated into its systems that have bits that look like it's been patchworked onto it.
Yeah.
It would have, I think that would have worked better for the series, and it would make more sense, obviously. But I understand,
because if memory serves correct, there was a few throwaway lines after Voyager that do mention the fact that it was a combination of Delta Quadrant tech mixed in with the ship itself, but we didn't see that. Even when it was seen in the opening of season 4 of Lower Decks, it still looked like the actual proper Intrepid class look.
That's right. No, I mean, do you remember in you remember the opening of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock?
Yes.
When the Enterprise comes home.
Yeah, limping back from the battle with Khan. Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes into space dock.
Yeah.
And you got all the people in the window
looking, and you see the damage. Yeah.
Yeah, they're aghast at this. Could you imagine the end of Voyager, with the Voyager getting home,
looking like that? That would have made it that bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, but not only looking like that, but it's actually got adaptations to it as well. So it's not just a beaten, battered ship. It's a ship that's stuff's happened to it, been given to it, so to speak. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It would have, not the like ship that left.
Yeah.
What's this? Hold on a sec. Let me just catch up with this. Overexposure is a thing, I think, that neutered their threat, like with the xenomorph, to an extent. Yeah, it's overused, overutilized. Because the more you do story-wise with them, because they can't give you the same thing narratively. They can't give you the same.
They can't give us stories like the best of both worlds, Scorpion, Drone, Iborg, some fantastic episodes. The more they do it, they can't give us episodes like that. The
No,
same.
the more they do, it just opens them up to weakness, and
Yeah.
you become used to them, and the threat isn't there. And Michael Wright, Universe State, while AJ makes a point in the sense of storytelling narrative. Yeah, that's how me and Michael tend to work.
Yeah.
Michael always comes at it from this in-universe perspective, and I always come at it from a sort of narrative external, as though one of the, you know what I mean? That just shows how invested Michael is. He's living in these worlds, which I get, because when I was how old are you, Michael? Sorry,
I'm 26.
Okay, so around your sort of age, a bit younger maybe. No, around your sort of age, I was very much the same when I was with Star Trek and Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5.
Yeah.
You know, I was, you know, I could cite the episode that this happened in and all this sort of, that knowledge has now left me. That's all like, do you know what I mean? I mean, nowadays I can watch a film. I'll watch a film or an episode of a TV show today, and I'll have forgotten it tomorrow. Other than things like what I say, that, you know, there's a narrative issue there within, and I don't know if that's something that just comes with age. So it'd be interested in, you know, 20 years time, whether you then look at it from this alternate angle. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Noah says Jodie Whittaker lives or was born a few minutes away from his house. One of my friends said that an old friend that I haven't seen for a while, but apparently he is related to her. Well, if we all came from Adam and Eve, then we're all related to one another, are we not? But it's still, if you go back, if you go generations back, and you think grandparents, it opens up to thousands and thousands of people. It's amazing. So we're, you know, in truth, we probably are all linked somehow,
in some sort of fashion.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage's earliest memory was in the womb. I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone in the womb. Oh, wait, I saw Planet of the Apes yesterday. Yeah, I think Nicolas Cage was on something at that point.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a stray. I like Nicolas Cage. I think he's great.
But I do like him, yeah. Like, I watched Renfield back in January, and I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, look, Trash Picture Show's following you. Irishmen sticking together. There you go with your in-world.
Because it does make, like, if you think about it, it does make sense. You know, the Borg stayed exactly the same. They never innovated. Had they innovated and become more of a threat once they realized the Federation had gone stronger, they would have been a threat, continued to be a threat. But no, they basically.
Yeah, but I thought that their point of what was it they done? Assimilation was to assimilate culture and technology as well.
Yeah.
So surely they should have, with each assimilation, they should have moved on in their tech.
And they should have, but they didn't.
Well, maybe that's because the tech wasn't there for them.
There was with the Federation. Why do you think they keep throwing cubes at them in order to force them to progress, to be worthy of sending in an entire armada to assimilate them?
Well, then, yeah, but by that theory, then they should have been doing that with other races as well.
They have. In universe, yes. Not really seen much on screen. There was maybe like a few episodes, kind of that hinted towards that. Like, you know, with the Elorians when they lost their planet, you know, guidance people. That was the Borg that assimilated them because of the way the great listeners of the galaxy. So they wanted that amongst them.
But don't you think you're arguing against yourself now, in a sense? Because if you're saying that you know they didn't progress, the Borg, but yet the Borg are throwing cubes at other races to force them to progress so that they can then come in and assimilate that technology. That implies a growth within the Borg and their technology.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, and yes, it can be said that I am essentially arguing against myself here. But what I was referring to was a popular fan theory among Star Trek fans that that's why the Borg do what they do, is they'll just send maybe one or two cubes to kind of force this planet to this race to constantly improve to a point where the Borg deem it necessary to have that technology then into them. It's one of the early fan theories that I remember seeing or about on YouTube.
Yeah, but that could take
ages. Yes.
Yeah, and my problem with that. Oh, okay, you say it's a fan theory, so it's not in. Yeah, which is a decent theory, but it falls down when you're thinking of a non-technological race.
Yeah.
So would the Borg, you know better than me, would they leave a non-technological race alone, or would they assimilate for numbers?
No, they definitely wouldn't leave them alone if they didn't perceive them as a threat, which has always been a thing. When anyone beams on board a cube, they won't register them as a threat unless they start to prove themselves to be a threat. But then again, I'm going to come up with an argument here for that. Against that is one thing that was confirmed in Picard was the Borg Queen is always aware of other parallel world existence, which is why the Borg Queen was going on about how the Confederation timeline was wrong, which is why she helped with them go back in time and stuff. So potentially the Borg Queen would know of a potential future where that could be a thing, and for them to then go to simulate them early, but then they probably hold off until that technology gets made for them to then go swoop in and take it.
Fair enough. You lost me at Picard.
I had a feeling I lost you somewhere.
Sorry?
I had a feeling I lost you.
It's just last then. It's too. It's and I don't mean it as. It's like when I remember when I used to go to conventions and Star Trek conventions back in the day when I was a younger lad, and I'm talking about around the time of Generations, the film, which was, what was that? Was that 94?
Yes.
So a long time ago for me.
Yeah, 94, 95, yeah.
I think that was around then, and you'd have people in front of you in queues discussing in depth the interior workings of the vessels and this sort of a thing. And it was, do you know what I mean? It's a bit too in. I wasn't that sort of. Although I do have a technical manual for the USS.
I do. Yeah, I have both I have the Enterprise D technical manual as well as the refit Enterprise technical manual.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let me just quickly catch up. So, Film Fanatic Noah says Origins was going to be the start of a new franchise where you saw different characters from X-Men and their origins, like X-Men Origins Cyclops. Yeah, that's correct. The second one was meant to be a Magneto film, but after the horrendous film that was X-Men Origins Wolverine, they abandoned that idea and reworked the Magneto stuff, origin stuff, into X-Men First Class. Hence why there's very heavy Magneto origin stuff in that film. Trash Picture Show. But the fact their inability to change their tactics is what hinders them. They still assimilate new tech, but having a new weapon isn't ideal if you don't utilize it in a different manner to suit your fight.
Exactly.
It's true. It's true. Hi, Adrian. Their main tactic is just bum rush a race, no infiltration, no utilization of, say, cloaking tech or holographic tech. They take the stuff but never seem to use it to their advantage. Which goes back to what Michael says about they don't change in their adapt. They don't grow. They stay the same.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a
it's
kind of a contradiction, though, isn't it? In a sense, in that that's what we're told that they do. They take their technological advantages, whatever you want to call it, for their own. But if they're not using them, it's kind of a contradiction in doing what they do.
Yeah,
because they'd have the knowledge because they're taking those people.
Yeah.
So they would, I don't know. We're finding holes in this whole Borg thing. Yeah. So Noah says, "Have you seen X-Men '97?" No, another one I've not started.
No,
Keep meaning to start it.
Yeah, because I need to start it myself because I grew up on that version of X-Men. Like I grew up on that as well as the '90s Spider-Man and a little bit of the '90s Fantastic Four, but that wasn't on repeat as much as Spider-Man or X-Men.
No, all that stuff from that time period, X-Men, Spider-Man, the short-lived Fantastic Four was relatively short-lived.
Mm.
What else was short-lived? Silver Surfer, the Hulk.
I do remember seeing 1 or 2 episodes of Incredible Hulk, and then it not being shown after that.
No, they done, and then that became Hulk and She-Hulk later on. It came, and then they done. Then it sort of span into Hulk and Agents of Smash, I believe. I do have those earlier Hulks, those first 3 seasons, where it was Hulk, and then it became Hulk and She-Hulk, and even those. There's, the good thing about the Marvel stuff, that stuff is that you have that that narrative flow through them. You have that cohesiveness, that continuity that holds these shows together. Very good, very good. And on the flip side of that, you had DC knocking out like the Batman animated series, which fantastic series, but they kind of stand alone. You could just watch an episode, and they were both great for different reasons. Nowadays, Marvel has lost it with animation. They I didn't mind What If, but the animation prior to that, Marvel's pretty much lost it, I think. Andy says the Joker has different representations through the ages. He does indeed. I mean, Joker. I like. It's amazing, really, that you've had these. You'd have thought, well, no one could top Jack Nicholson, and then came along Heath Ledger. So no one could do that again. And then you had Joaquin Phoenix with his performance in the Joker, which although like I was saying, I don't really like it as a Joker movie, but I like it as a movie. His performance was still top notch. You've had a fair few actors, even the geezer who played him in the Gotham TV show.
Yes, who went on to Cal Kestis in the Jedi Fallen Order video games.
Yeah, he was very good as the Joker in that. You've had a lot of...
because I'm currently watching him in the early stages of his career in the US Shameless show.
Okay.
And really great in that.
Yeah. No, he was, he was good. And who else? I mean, even, Thingy in the Suicide Squad, Jared Leto, was awful. But when you saw him at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, there was it felt different. There was a possibility of
something.
decent Joker there as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Like for me with Jared Leto, I only like his music, his band 30 Seconds to Mars. That's about it.
never listened to any of his music. I'll be honest.
They wouldn't be your cup of tea.
Sorry,
They wouldn't be your thing.
how do you know what's my thing?
Well, because you don't like screaming music.
No, I don't. I don't think I've ever stepped beyond.
Some of their early works are like that. Then after a while, it kind of went kind of pop-ish. But yeah, I only like their early stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I've stepped outside of the 80s or early 90s for music. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Look at 60s versus 90s Jokers. They're very different. Yeah, Joker adapted.
Another one that I grew up on was the Adam West Batman show.
Yes.
I watched a good handful of episodes of that. And that's why I grew to love Adam West as not only as Batman, but as an actor and voice actor.
Mayor West.
Yeah.
Family Guy.
Yes, Mayor West. He also appeared as Catman in the Fairly Odd Parents cartoon.
Okay, cool. But Andy says, yeah, look at 60s versus 90s. Thing is, Joker had to adapt and change with Batman as well, because Batman was very light when you go back to the 60s, even in the comics. He wasn't the Dark Knight, so to speak. That really never came around until the 80s, around the sort of era that Frank Miller wrote The Dark Knight Returns, and which has been an inspiration since for most Batman, and actually turned the character on his head and portrayed him as being a very dark, brooding-esque kind of character. And in turn, you had that change with the Joker as well at that same time. It had to grow. The characters had to change with very much with the how they changed the Batman and give you this darkness. Track Picture Show says, "'Tis brilliant, a 90s Spider-Man Hulk TV show. Does anyone remember Cadillacs and Dinosaurs?" No, but I do have a comic book based upon it, I believe. I may be wrong, actually. Might be thinking of something else. Something and Dinosaurs. It might not be Cadillacs. But no, I don't remember that one. Gargoyles was effing savage too.
I've heard of Gargoyles after the fact, but I don't recall ever watching it growing up on reruns.
They were good. I've got them on bootleg Blu-ray, actually, the complete Gargoyles TV show. I think it's on Disney. It must be on Disney Plus.
It could be, yeah. I think I don't know. I don't have Disney Plus anymore.
And I know that at the moment you've got, is it IDW? I think it's IDW, or is it Dynamite Comics? One of the two that are producing a Gargoyles comic book. Yeah, Gargoyles was good. It was very good. It's a shame that we've not had like a reboot of it or a continuation.
Yeah.
Considering that Disney's looking, they're doing X-Men 97.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll look at doing Spider-Man. Maybe
Spider-Man. He did appear as like a kind of blink and you miss a cameo in one of the episodes. Even Captain America, I think, makes an appearance as well.
Yeah, an X-Men. Yeah, that's what. So Noah's saying 98% on Rotten Tomatoes for X-Men, 97, 9 out of 10 on IMDb. I need to watch. I'm waiting. I know they end this week coming. I'll probably watch them then in succession. Cameron Monaghan, that was it. It was very good. It was, I don't know why people trash that show a lot. I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah, it's not one that I've watched, but I have heard great things about it. I mean, I've heard it starts slow, but then it starts to pick up. I don't know what season it starts to pick up on, but I have heard that it towards the end, it was a really liked show.
Yeah, it was. I liked it from the get go. You got to look at it as an Elseworlds is a. When I use the term Elseworlds, Michael, it's a sort of it's an imprint. It's a comic book imprint series that DC do. That's very much like Marvel's What If. It's basically takes the characters, takes them out of their existing continuity, and does something different with them. You might have Batman in the 19th century, Victorian era, that sort of thing. And Gotham feels like when people moan about, the age and all that sort of thing of Batman and this sort of stuff, you just got to look at it as its own thing, as though it's set in a different, it's just doing something different with it, and look at it as an Elseworld series. Don't get too caught up in the whole all Batman continuity stuff.
Yeah.
And what's the third season of what show? Johnny Depp has just released a new film after his trial called Jean de Barry. Okay. I've not heard of it. Yeah, AJ, it is on Disney Plus. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs was based on a comic. Okay, all right. So, yeah. I would have it then. That's right. But I'm sure it's Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I've got or read for a bit. But, yeah, it must be because... Yeah, you're saying. Cadillac Dinosaur used to be on the Den on RTE2.
Oh, the Den. That's it's a kids block.
Kids what?
It's a kids block where they basically just have like a whole set block of like of time for like dedicated to kids shows and stuff. It was up until like I finished at like 3, I think, and then it started going into the normal programming. If memory serves correct, that's where Justin the Turkey got his start, as well as Socko the Sock Monster, or Socky was it? It's been 20 years since I've seen that, and I'm basing this off of a memory. But yeah, that's brought me back. Yeah, basically, yeah, like CBBC.
Yeah. Okay, all right, fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I haven't thought of the Den in years.
Yeah, you did recommend Clarkson's Farm before, Noah. Yeah. But I don't know if I'd find the time to watch it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm currently watching through 2.5 Men. I think I'm on season 4 at the moment.
I love 2.5 Men.
But I won't go beyond Charlie Sheen era.
I might watch, like, if I ever do rewatch it, I'll go up as far as when Walden pretended to be poor to get with someone. That's where I stopped. That's where I stopped actually enjoying it. But that's if I felt like watching the Walden era. If I just wanted to watch it, I'd stop at season 8.
Yeah. See, now I remember. You may remember this or not, where they'd done an episode where he had a brother, and it turned out to be a gorilla.
Yes, that was early season 9 for him. Yeah, I remember that one well.
Yeah, so once it done that, I think I was out. I was like, that's jumping the shark at that point. And then I think they didn't. And I remember later on, not that I saw it, there was a girl introduced that was someone's daughter.
That was
Charlie's
daughter. Yes. Who was basically just a female version of Charlie.
Okay. And how did that work out?
Not great. She was around for a bit, and then she just became like a one-off appearance every now and again type of character. Grew really close with Walden for a bit. But then they focused on Walden after having a heart attack, wanting to have a kid. So he marries Alan in order for them to be able to adopt Lewis.
But who marries Alan?
Walden.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, just so he can adopt a son. which they do, who then doesn't even make an appearance once in the two-part finale.
Okay, all right.
The entire final season was building up to them adopting this child to life after the fact, and then the final two episodes, two-parter comes along, and nowhere to be seen.
And am I right? Did Arnold Schwarzenegger guest star in one episode?
Yes, he did, as well as Christian Slater.
Okay, all right, all right. I do remember these things. I think I did see the Arnie bit, the appearance. Yeah. Obviously, I did catch the last episode or last two episodes. Because of the return of Charlie, not Charlie, with the piano drop. I remember that stuff, but no, I won't go. I've got them all on Blu-ray, not Blu-ray. I've got them all on DVD. 2.5 Men, but only up to.
Up to that point. I have up to season 4. I just don't see them out and about that often for me to add them into the collection.
There is a nice box set you can get with the 8 in and that's how I got them. I got them like that. I think I did pick up a couple of the other seasons when they were very, very cheap. But I think I'll break a season. I think I might have like season 9 and then 11 or something like that. I don't know. I did have the intent of getting them and watching them, but it never came to pass. And so I've got these. They're not even with the box set I've got. They're just somewhere. They could be in a box somewhere. I've got no idea. Michael, it was Dustin and Zig and Zag started there before the Big Breakfast. Were they on the Big Breakfast today?
They're basically puppets, essentially. Like at one point, we actually sent Dustin the turkey to Eurovision.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I know we went downhill. Like, I hope Bambi wins. Like, I don't care for the Eurovision. Not my cup of tea. Not my music. But the fact that we've made it into the finals for the first time in years, I really hope Bambi wins.
No, I don't do Eurovision. He's talking about Clarkson's Farm again. Is that? It's very funny. Hope that is what he's talking about, isn't it? Yeah, Clarkson must be. Yeah. You should check out Trailer Park Boys. What's Trailer Park Boys?
It's
Forgive my ignorance.
I haven't watched it myself, but it's an Irish show that that was on. I think you would like it. It's kind of like, I'm not even sure if you would have seen this show either, but have you ever heard of the show Letterkenny?
Leonard King?
Letterkenny.
No.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know like what's the best way to describe it because I haven't even watched it myself, but it's Irish. It's a very good, from what the few clips that I've seen, it's definitely something I need to watch myself.
What is it? Is it a scripted show?
I think so.
Is it comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy. Yeah.
All right. I'll see if I can acquire it, download it illegally, and check it out.
Yeah.
Trailer Park Boys.
I could be thinking of something different. You'll have to correct me.
Okay, let's discuss Star Trek 3: The Search of Spock.
All right. Great film. I enjoy it. I love it. Very underrated.
I agree. It is very underrated Star Trek film. So much so that on recent rewatches from several years ago, I would actually rank it above the Voyage Home.
I can see that. Because like it's a great film. Like Leonard Nimoy, fantastic directing for it. I would definitely just say the Voyage Home for me personally is higher than Search for Spock because of when I watched it. Since I watched the movies out of order,
Mm.
growing up, uh, and even after my rewatch last year when I reviewed all of them, I definitely would say Voyage Home would be my third favorite.
So the reason I say that, years ago, yeah, I would have put Voyage
Yeah,
Home above Search for Spock, most definitely. Um, but I think that Search for Spock offers
is
more of an
dated.
emotional kick.
Yeah, yeah. Search for Spock definitely does that. Yeah,
It's it offers some fantastic, memorable scenes as well. Not that Voyage Home doesn't; it does. But I
yeah,
think what is Voyager Home is it's that film that's, and the reason people remember it more fondly is because that's the one that's more open to viewers. That's
yeah,
the one that is more accessible
yeah.
to non-Star Trek viewers. And I'd say that Search for Spock is very much, you have to be into Star Trek
Yes.
to get out of Search for Spock. But the stuff with the theft of the Enterprise
That was a brilliant theme. That
is
one.
fantastic.
Yeah,
The destruction of the Enterprise.
yeah,
You Klingon bastard, you killed my son.
yeah.
That line there alone.
Yeah,
What I mean?
another great line is, "My God, Bones, what have I done?"
Yeah, yeah. Um, turn death into a fighting chance to live. I think that's the reply, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah,
It's yeah. For me, on rewatches, I'd say there's whereas Voyage Home steps into silly territory. There's bits of it that come across more silly, which is probably why I'm not, and that's the elements of First Contact
yeah,
that decrease First Contact in my estimation.
yeah. And I
It's
understand that.
silly,
Yeah, I know I always load over that, First Contact is the best Star Trek film of all time, which it is, but I do see its faults. I do see the faults that, the drunk Diana scene is a bit much. Some of the over the top bits are definitely not needed necessarily. But for what it is, and the fact that we see more of what the trauma that Picard has post assimilation that we only get to see in just one episode, well, two episodes actually, of the Next Generation, is amazing.
Yeah, no, I can't deny. I mean, Patrick Stewart gives
It's fantastic.
he does give a fantastic
Yeah.
performance in that film, very powerful performance in several moments within that movie.
Yeah.
But then when you sort of counter that with the scenes with Marina Sirtis being drunk, not only that, Jonathan Frakes in that same scene doesn't give a particularly great performance.
Yeah.
His reaction to her.
Yeah.
It just feels, I mean, and so there's these bits that pull a great film down for me. And I'm not saying it's a good film; it's a good Star Trek film. It's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I saw it several times at the cinema when it came out.
Yeah, I mean, it gave me my favorite ship design that I'm pulling off of my display here. The Akira class is my personally favorite ship design and class in Star Trek, in all of it. Like it's up there with, to me, it's up there with the original Constitution class, the refit.
Show closer. So that's just the reworked, NX-01.
Well, this came out first, but in universe,
yeah.
in Beta Canon universe, it was designed after the NX.
So what you're saying is that they cheaped out on the model for the NX-01 by utilising.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, the NX was all CG. It wasn't actually real life filming model.
Yeah. I was just seeing what those notifications were.
Yeah.
On my phone. Sorry, I was distracted then. Yeah. So yes, Search for Spock, I think, is an underrated. Yeah, I do think it's very underrated Star Trek film. That over time, as I've matured, in my estimation, it has gone up. And you'll probably find the same, Michael, as you get older. That
I
you get
probably will. Yeah,
you know, I mean,
I'll say First Contact is the best Star Trek.
I never used to be able to watch. I always used to skip the first Star Trek film, motion picture, and just hit the ground running with Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
But then, in recent years, I've come to find an appreciation for the first film. You know. Oh no, it keeps on about Clarkson's farm. Maybe when I retire.
Yeah.
Maybe no, maybe he's got an affinity for animals and not humans.
Maybe he's in a sheep shelter.
Ross says he thought Trailer Park Boys was Canadian.
Yeah, I might be mixing it up with the Hardy books.
Okay, think The Office with rednecks.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Saying rednecks is probably, would that imply that it is not Irish then?
Yeah, no, I think I was mixing it up with the Hardy books. I've seen a few episodes of the Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, it's definitely American redneck show.
Okay, cool. Correct, very underrated. Star Trek 3. It is. I think it gets, that when they say that, every other Star Trek film is bad, Star Trek 3.
Disagree. I definitely disagree. Especially after my last rewatch, I love all of the Star Trek movies. Just some I would place higher than others.
I do struggle with 5.
I see the struggle with 5, but after a second rewatch, I don't mind it as much. I definitely like it more than I did on the first watch.
It's good. The thing with Star Trek is it doesn't matter how bad the film, how bad the film is, and I'm talking more when I'm saying this. I think more about the original Treks, not Next Generation. It might apply to them, but I haven't watched Insurrection and Nemesis in some considerable time. But especially the early Star Treks, it doesn't matter how bad the film or script is. You've got you've got that cast carrying you, or especially the main three carrying you through the film, and you're given some great interaction and character moments worthy of watching, regardless of how poor the actual story is. I'll say that about them. It's Canadian. You might be thinking Hardy.
I was thinking of the Hardy books, because that's the ones I have seen clips of. But I do remember watching maybe 3 episodes of the Trailer Park Boys. I definitely think you would like it, AJ.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Yeah,
I'll give it a try. But yeah, Ross says, "Wild bold statement, ranking above Voyage Home." Yes, but no, seriously, I do want to see. I'm not knocking Voyage Home. It's a great film. It's a great Star Trek film, and 2, 3, and 4 make a great trilogy.
yes.
Within
Star Trek. Yeah, there is a Blu-ray for the motion picture trilogy that just has 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah,
in it.
But also, I think the Star Trek 6 has some great callbacks to.
Yes.
Thematically, you can take number 5 out of the equation. You can go 2, 3, 4, 6 because of the stuff that carries over. Because obviously Nicholas Meyer, who directed 6, didn't he? He directed 2. I know he worked on the scripts, I believe, for part 3 and 4, or maybe just 4. Can't remember now.
He
But
done.
no, he still
He
had.
done the script for 4. He definitely done the script for 4. I think he worked with Leonard Nimoy on the script for The Search for Spock.
Yeah. So you've got thematically, you've got themes that play through. Primarily the sort of Kirk's hatred for the Klingons and the reason why.
Yeah,
and that
because I
sort of thing.
remember hearing that William Shatner was very much against the line "Let them die," and he just refused to say it until they lamented on letting him say "Let them die," and then immediately say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that." But then they edited the after bit of "Let them die" out, and that pissed William Shatner off. But then again, it's really easy to piss Shatner off at this point.
Yeah, but I think that's a powerful statement.
It is. It's a massive powerful statement.
All right, and it's a wonderful, powerful scene in the film. Right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with a character saying that, because it shows this, his inner turmoil over what has happened to his son in previous films, which is understandable. But I mean, it is a bold statement in a sense. I'm not using bold statement. It's written in front of me, bold statement. That's why I probably said that. In that, to say that a whole race should die out because of something that's happened to him, but then the character goes through that growth and understanding by the end of the film, and he sees it because he's introduced to these other Klingons that are searching for peace, and so I can understand that you wouldn't want a character saying that if you didn't have that turn around at the end, if that was your character, but there is that turnaround at the end which showed growth in his character, so it works it works as a good carry on from the previous. It's and that's down to Nicholas Meyer, I believe, all that stuff. The planet could be seen as hell, couldn't it? When it's all ripping apart and it's fiery and and in what he does, great lines. Who's on your left? Is that me or Mike? Michael knows far more about Trek than me.
Yes, we all done a Star Trek quiz last year to see who knows the most about Star Trek, and the winner was me. Only because I'm younger. That's the only reason why I won, is because I'm younger. If AJ was in his prime with his knowledge, he probably would have warped circles around me. But because I had youth on my side,
I got the Harlan Ellison question correct that no one else did.
Yes.
But I will say that, it's probably a case of I've forgotten more than what you'll ever know. So,
and the fact that most of the questions were about the original series, and I was in the middle of my first time watching through the original series, played a massively in my favor.
Yeah, but the thing is, you do get into it. I'm not knocking you, right? Because, like I said, back in the day, I was. Do you know what I mean? I lived those shows. I was so into them. But you're now that sort of you're the representation of the geek side of it. You are, where all about the ship classes and all this sort of stuff. That stuff's lost to me now. And even with there's still characters in Discovery that I couldn't tell you their names.
You're not alone. I'm nearly the exact same. Like, I've been watching the show since it came out, and it's only since season 4 that I started to actually recognize the bridge crew's names. 4 seasons has taken me to do that. That's bad writing. Again, I'm a Discovery apologist. I love Discovery, but it could have been better. It could have been.
It's like I told you. It's like I said that the reason for that is because they've gone with the same kind of cast setup as
Yeah.
all the original Star Trek shows, right?
Yeah.
Where you have this bridge crew of numbering, or this crew numbering about 7 people, and your shows, you've got shows that are written without any continuity between episodes, or very, very limited continuity. So you break away a lot. And obviously you've got 24 episodes per season, thereabouts, in the original Star Treks. And you break away to episodes focused on these different characters. You've got time to spend with them. But when you're talking about Discovery, you've set up your cast in the same manner. But yet what you've done is you've given a continuity continuity heavy show, which is one story from beginning to end, essentially, and you've not written it to incorporate all these different characters because you haven't got the time to. And I think the last season of Discovery was, there were scenes where they were having these discussions about that big thing in space, that
the DMC,
and then they just pulled people down from the bloody bridge just to get their input on it and then send them back up again. It was so forced in giving these characters something to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's not. So that's why people don't remember their names, because it's not written for these.
And it's even happening in this new season. Like we have the main people that flew the ship was Awoshikin and Detmer. They haven't been seen in a while. We have a different 2 people flying this ship, whose names I haven't learned, nor will I at this rate. And they just had a little throwaway line that, Awoshikin and Detmer were flying the ISS Enterprise off to Federation HQ. And then that's it. We haven't seen or heard from them since.
That's like I said, I don't think I'll be watching season 5. I'm blown away by this Star Trek analysis, by the way. There you go. We're having a good Star Trek discussion, Michael. First Contact, the best Star Trek film. I won't dignify it with a response.
Thank you. I'm not alone.
No, he won't dignify it with a response. Means he don't agree with you.
Well, I mean, I've done 2 videos going over it, one of which is private now.
Why is that? Why is it private?
Private because it was my old way of doing reviews.
Oh, it weren't because of all the disagreement saying Star Trek is the
best. So the reason why I private is because it's my old way of reviewing, and the review that I done last summer better encapsulates my opinion on First Contact.
Hold on, sorry, I was just reading one of the messages then. Yes, I also love all Trek films, placing some above others. Yeah, they're all they've all got something worthwhile.
Yeah.
But AJ, how can you not totally love 5? I mean, with that integral plot point of Kirk fighting the three breasted cat ladies. Sorry, I can't give a straight face. Was she 3-breasted, was she?
Yes, she was.
Shows how much I remember in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the best scene in that film was, round the fireplace.
Yes, that was one.
Row your boat.
Yeah.
I forgot about the cat lady.
I think most people forget about her until they watch it.
Did she die as soon as she hit the fish tank?
Yeah.
Cats hate water. Oh, we got Stephen. What's up, AJ? Just popping in real quick to say hello. I'm on my way out the door. Have a good one. I know you're not there to see this, but cheers, Stephen. Over in Sacramento. What's the time over there? Oh, must be wake up time for them. Yeah. I think Brave New World is the only good thing to come out Discovery, Michael.
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Strange New Worlds is a phenomenal Trek series that I love and a lot of people love.
Yeah,
Uh, but I have my reasons for why I love Discovery, but I'm going to save that for when the series finale happens and I'll explain it then. Um, but it kind of holds some sort of sentimental feelings for me. But
mm.
again, I'll explain that when
Yeah,
the time happens.
yeah. That's cool. I look forward to that analysis of why. Um, I think Strange New Worlds is season 2 of Discovery was the strongest, and
Yeah.
I think that was the inclusion of
Oh,
Anson Mount as
yeah. Season
Pike.
2 and season 3 are strong on first viewings. When you go to rewatch them, they don't knowing what's going to happen. I found wasn't as enjoyable.
Yeah, they're like I said, they are badly written
Yeah,
shows. Um, I remember one episode of it really annoyed me. One episode of the last season of Discovery with that big thing in space where
yeah,
they go through all that hassle of getting the bomb, of detonating the bomb, of the thing being destroyed, only then for another one to take its place.
yeah,
And it's like so what I've just watched, the entirety of that plot thread that I've just watched is
yeah.
rendered moot and pointless. And
Yeah,
and
he's not
you know,
the only one in that season. Like when they kill off Book, only for him to then be saved by the people of the DMC.
oh yeah, there's
Like
yeah,
I like Book, don't get me wrong, but they should have killed him off at that point. It just took away from the emotional value of that scene.
mm, yes, yes, it did. But Star Trek's done that. Oh, okay, you could argue they've done that with Spock,
Yeah,
although there
but
was
at least that
time.
was
But
written better.
but at least it was a different film. At least you had, I know there was the tease of Spock at the end of 2, but you
Yeah,
had that you had the shock of the death. But it's like right, Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis. Right, in the same film, you've killed Data,
yes,
but then at the very end, you've given the hint that well, actually,
yeah,
Data's not dead. There's part of him inside.
before.
Yeah, which just detracts from the power of the character
Yeah,
dying.
and
They should,
even in the Star Trek countdown comic series that they've done for when the 2009 JJ film came out. In that comics, Data was in B4's body and captain of the Enterprise E.
okay, I don't remember. I do have them comics, but I don't remember that. That's some time ago.
Yeah,
Well, that was some time ago, wasn't it? Bloody hell. That was like nearly 15 years.
yeah.
Wow.
Actually, that speaking of Wrath of Khan, actually, I have a funny story that involves my mother meeting George Takei.
Okay, yeah.
So back when there was a convention on in Dublin, George Takei was obviously going to be there. I think it was the Star Trek convention because we used to actually have them over here. And my mother at the time was working in the taxi ranks, where she was the dispatcher. She'd call people up, but people could go in and ask for a taxi. So my mom was working the night shift, and she was watching Wrath of Khan because
Mhm.
must have been like a slow night, and she was reciting it word for word, like as things were happening. It got to the bit of Spock's death, and so as that was happening, this guy came in and asked for a taxi, and she said, "Yeah, it'll be X amount of minutes." And so he then went out. And then as she was, again reciting it word for word, who should happen to come in? George Takei. And he said, "Oh my, I don't think I've ever met anyone who could recite this word for word." And Mom just turned and jaw hit the fucking ground at that stage.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
Brilliant.
that's one of my favorite stories that she told me of meeting someone from Star Trek. She
That's
was like,
great.
She also done like volunteered at a convention once,
Mm.
and that's how she met Gates McFadden.
Yeah.
And then of course she did meet Leonard Nimoy when he was on his book tour for I Am Spock, which I still have her signed copy of downstairs.
Even that's great. Have
Yeah.
you ever? You've never watched Babylon 5, have you?
I haven't. I have season 2.
Oh, there's a redhead in it.
Yeah.
I get the character's name, but the actress is called. Her name's Patricia Tallman, and she was actually Gates McFadden's stunt double. I know she is on what do you call it? Generations. She's the woman who falls when Gates McFadden's thrown overboard of the ship.
Yeah. When Troy crashes it.
Yeah, that's no, when in the water at the beginning.
Oh, yes. When
So
pushes her.
she'll be a stunt double in other bits as well, but I know that you can see, it's her there. But she's in Babylon 5. She's a thingy. Just a little bit of trivia there that just popped in my mind when you was telling your. Yeah, but that is a great story. They're great, to meet someone like that in that sort of just to come in and that's great. So Ross says he liked the Discovery Klingons.
I like them as well. Like I get why people don't like them. I get why people don't like them because again,
Michael's frozen.
They're supposed to be the smooth.
I hope we come up.
Sorry.
Wait, I'm back.
Oh, there you are.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, good. Yeah. So where were we? Yeah.
Klingons.
Yeah. No, I didn't like the. But
I like them. On first viewing, I liked them. When I rewatched
we're losing again.
2 years ago, I see why people don't like them.
Are we back?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I think that's me. If it goes again, I'll pop downstairs. I'll go down closer to the router.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I weren't a fan of the Klingons.
Yeah.
I'm also the only one who loved the final episode of Enterprise.
I'm surprised people actually love the final episode of Enterprise.
I'm not a fan of that either. It's a shame they turned it into a Next Generation episode.
Yeah, like that's a running joke for the final season of Discovery like people are joking that it's going to be another holodeck episode.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd be on board for that. Trash Picture shows. I think I already showed that. I think I put a thumbs up and said see you later, didn't I? Ross said he loves the George Takei story.
Yeah, I've been meaning to say it on whenever I do my own streams, but I keep forgetting.
Just to be clear, Star Trek isn't real.
Yeah. We were doing yet.
There you go. Of course, she produced a Star Trek expert. Your mother in you.
Yes, she was. She told me the story actually as well of when she first got into Star Trek. It was in the 70s. During when it was in syndication. She came home from school feeling sick, and she was hanging off the couch upside down, and then Star Trek came on, and then as soon as she saw Spock, she instantly fell in love with Leonard Nimoy, and thus created the Star Trek fan of my mother, like to the point where she went to a bunch of conventions, had a whole bunch of books. My granny got her the the original Playmates Enterprise D, which I then, of course, broke, being the little shit that I was. And then as well, I think she even wrote her own fan fiction of it as well, her own stories of the original series. She definitely loved the original series, Next Gen. She didn't like DS9, but that's because I don't think she watched it in full. She loved Voyager, and she didn't care too much about Enterprise. She watched some of it. That's like an early memory of mine of Enterprise, but she wasn't as big of a fan for it.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So it was your mum that got you into it, wasn't it?
Eventually, yes. It took a while, but I eventually got into Star Trek. I remember her saying that she failed as a Star Trek fan when I was a Star Wars fan, a bigger Star Wars fan than Star Trek.
You can like both.
I do like both. One more than the other at this point now. But I do remember the second film I ever seen in cinema was Star Trek Nemesis when it came out in 2003 for Ireland. And then I remember as well, like I said, seeing a scene from Enterprise. I believe it was the scene where Daniel shows Archer the signing of the Federation. Or it might have actually been from the series finale. I'm not 100% sure. And then there was another Next Generation episode that I remember seeing that Mom had recorded on VHS. It was recorded over the Brendan Fraser George of the Jungle film. I forget the name of the episode, but it was kind of like a horror-esque thing. I remember this random character going down this corridor and then falling straight through it, and all you see is her head and her hand. That's all I can remember from it.
Okay. Because funnily enough, I mean, my getting into Trek was after my mum's death more than anything. Obviously, Star Trek was a thing on TV, it was on TV. It was, and I remember it as a kid. The films I started, I think, first film I saw at the cinema was probably 4, Star Trek 4. But after my mum passed away, I then started borrowing the Next Generation tapes off of a mate, and Next Generation was, I don't know, 94. Where would Next Generation been in 94? It would have been close to its end.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I just watch them. I just watched them back to back the episodes, and I sort of got more into it that way, and then went back and obviously, funny. But there we go. So the space battle above Kittima, Star Trek 6, the best bits of Star Trek ever.
Yes, I definitely agree. That is a very good space battle.
Do they reuse the explosion? They don't they?
They reuse it in Generations.
That's right. Yes. I know it was reused somewhere. That's the one where the photon torpedo goes right up through the saucer section of the Enterprise. Yeah. Again, what's his name? Nicholas Meyer. Yeah. Who gave us Star Trek 2 and treated it like a submarine film.
Yeah.
World would be a better place if everyone was a Star Trek fan. It would.
I agree.
But then you'll probably have battles over what's best.
I mean, we already have that anyway, so what difference would it make?
Sorry, say again?
We already have battles over which is the best Star Trek anyway, so what difference does it make?
That's true. But at least we're not ripping each other's throats out. Yep. You two should review Star Trek Voyager. Do you know what? Do you know what, Michael? I don't think something like that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, it wouldn't actually, because I'm due a rewatch of Voyager because it's been a while.
But what I mean, because is watch something. Star Trek. We both watch the same thing, and then we come together and discuss.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about all 7 seasons.
Yeah, like we'll pick a random episode, let's say, that has massive importance, that's a good or bad episode, and then we go away, watch it, and then discuss it.
Yeah, I think that'd be not a bad idea.
Yeah,
maybe we should put that together.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you have a think about it. You think what episode to do? Come back to me and we'll sort it out. But on that note, I'm going to get going because I am Hank Marvin now. I'm starving. My tummy's like rumbling like anything.
Mine's that way too, because all I've had is ham and cheese toasty that I've done in my air fryer.
Lovely. You've had more than me. I've been up since, like I said, since about 4:30. Took my missus to work, watched the 2 Doctor Who's, and I haven't had anything to eat yet.
Yeah.
I'm starving. So I'm going to leave you. Ross said he'll be here for the Voyager. We'll sort something out. Michael will pick. He's got better Star Trek Voyager knowledge than me, most definitely.
Yeah.
Because that's your favourite series, isn't it?
It is. Voyager is my favourite. And Kate Mulgrew is actually coming to Dublin City Comic Con in August, and I'm like, I don't want to go just to see her.
So what we'll do is, we could do a live. We can watch something and then do a live, come together, discuss.
Yeah.
That'll be good. So you have a think about it. Let us know what episode you want to do and we'll sort it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to leave you, Michael. Thanks for joining. It's been great. Thanks everyone watching and the comments. It's been great. And I shall see you soon. Let us know. See you later.
See you later.
I can do it. Take care, Mike.
See you.